Hi everybody, it's Jessica Eves Matthews again with another bite of business brilliance for you. I came up with another example of how to avoid making what is probably a very common mistake in business. I was at a shop yesterday and they had a bowl for a business card drawing for a free $25 gift certificate. And people had dropped their cards in the bowl, and so I pulled my card out. I was talking with the proprietor of the business and I said, I'm going to do this. So I put my card in the bowl and he started telling me a story about how they had just had a drawing earlier that week for the weekly winner, and that the card they drew out was a person's business that he couldn't tell what it was that they did. He thought that it was maybe like a dog grooming business or something like that, but it wasn't totally clear. But the bigger problem with the card was that it didn't provide an email address or a web address. It just had a phone number. And they called the phone number to notify the person that they'd won this contest, and they could never get a hold of her. She never responded. They tried several times, and they had no other way of reaching her. And so they had to move on. So they had to do another drawing for somebody else to win. And, Business Brilliance is all about helping you really with the fundamentals of business, really figuring out sort of the nuts and bolts of how to launch your business effectively. And part of that is making sure that people can find you. I know this seems really obvious, but what is on your business card? You really need to think about what you're communicating on your business card. Another comment that I got as I was speaking with this proprietor was that he said often he cannot tell what people do from their business card. It's very unclear to him. And so I think there's a couple things you need to remember when you're putting together your marketing materials, especially when you're paying money to have these materials designed. You want to make sure that it is clear from your business card what kind of business you're in, because think about it, when you hand your business card to somebody, they put it in their wallet or their purse or their briefcase, and it may be a few days or a week. It might even be longer than that if it kind of gets lost in the shuffle before they look at it again. And when they pull that business card back out and they look at it, are they going to remember who this was and what this was for and why they even took the card? So there are lots of ways you can do this, but make sure, first of all, that your contact information is on there. Make sure there are several ways that somebody can reach you. Include a phone number. I include my 1-800 number for my business and my cell phone on my business card. Make sure you include an email address so that they can reach you, and a web address so that if for some reason they're having trouble, they can get on your website and contact you through your contact list on your website. And then I would also consider putting your photo on your card. Now there's a lot of debate about whether this is a good idea or not. I personally think it can be a really good idea. Now I don't have my picture on my business card, so I'm not following this advice, but I will say on the business cards where somebody has actually put their photograph, it's so easy to remember who they were. So that's something to think about, particularly if you are your brand. But that's one thing you can do. Another thing is to add a tagline or maybe a little one-sentence description of what it is you do. I think a tagline is really most effective because your tagline should be communicating what it is your business does. But put something on there that clues the person in to what your business is about and what it is that you do. I think all those elements are really critical to have on there. You don't want to have a business card that's just crammed full of information that you can't read, but those are kind of the basics. And one more bit of advice. If you give forms of communication, ways that people can reach you, and they reach out to you, make sure you respond to them, because you may be leaving business on the table by not responding and responding in a timely way. So if for some reason that's difficult for you, maybe you're the kind of person that you're out in the field, like this dog groomer. I think she had a mobile dog grooming business, so maybe it is that like during the workday she's out grooming dogs and she can't answer her phone. And if that's the case, make sure you have a system in place that that you follow, so that you listen to your messages and you follow up with people that day or the next morning, or delegate it to to an assistant. There are virtual assistants out there that you can hire them to answer your calls and respond to messages for you. And that's not going to cost you very much money to do, and it's going to give a much more professional presence. People really much prefer talking to a live person as opposed to a recording. So think about ways that you can be responsive, because follow-up is absolutely critical, and that's where most businesses fall down. So those are my bits of advice. Make sure people can find you and make sure that you follow up. So that's your bite of business brilliance for the day, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.